Thank you, Mr. Holliburn. And I want to thank my colleague and friend for introducing the debate today, the Honourable Member for Lancaster and Fleetwood. Mr. Holliburn, we've heard from many colleagues today about stating what's happening in Gaza now. And we see it on our screens every day. It's not as if this is being done in secrecy. It is being done very openly, and the whole world is watching and have been watching for months and months and months. They've heard the various leaders of Israeli government and their comments, such as the Palestinians or the Gazans are the Amaleki, or the fact that the leaders and the defense ministers and the generals are saying they're not human beings, they should be in the Sinai desert, or the minister who looked at the complete devastation of Gaza and said, oh, this is such a beautiful site, we're looking forward to building our homes in there. And of course, we've seen the relentless bombing. And we've seen children, their limbs blown up, women, adults, other people damaged. We've heard people's skins peeling out. We've seen real crimes being committed in front of our eyes. Yet, all we have is platitude by all the leaders in the world. Well, Israel is, going to abide by international law, or the IDF is the most moral army in the world. Well, I don't know whether it is a moral army or not. All I would say to people is, please see what is actually happening in Gaza and draw your own conclusion at what's going on there. But we also have a situation now where there is water, there is food, there is clothes, there is medicine. Everything is available, generators, so that we can help the people in Gaza who are now stuck in a tiny little space, 1.5 million of them displaced. Yet, this is not a natural famine. This is not a natural disaster. This is purely and simply because the Israeli government will not let aid in, and the Israeli illegal settlers playing their part in as well as to stop aid getting in. Yet, what is our moral international governments doing about this? We can see it. Why is it that no one seems to be taking real steps to help the Palestinian people, to get food in there? Yes, we've had a bit of food aid drops in, but that's nothing compared to what is needed. So I would say to the international community, and I'll come on to the debate for this afternoon, is that apart from those people, and there's only, I'm sure, a small amount, who are able to leave Gaza and join their families in the United Kingdom, why that is not happening. We see that destruction, and as many colleagues have said, these people are not going to be burden on the taxpayers or even the state, because their family and friends will look after them, would pay for them. And I know that these people will go back to their homeland, because one of the reasons so many Palestinians are stuck in the Rafah and where they are won't want to leave is because they know that if they left Palestine, the chances of them being able to get back into it would be virtually negligible, because we saw what happened in the 40s. The Nakba, 700,000 people were expelled forcibly. Not any of them have been able to come back. Them, their families and children now are languishing in tents in Lebanon, in Jordan, and the rest of the countries surrounding. And they're now coming up to about 4 or 5 million of those people who've been displaced. And for 75 years, everybody in the national community has talked about, yes, the Palestinians will be able to come back, or a homeland for the Palestinians. Nothing has happened. So I know those people who will leave, virtually all of them will want to go back. Although, of course, as somebody said, the level of devastation in Gaza is absolutely horrendous. Now, I know, I'm sorry to say, the Home Office attitude towards Palestinian refugees or even Palestinian visitors has over the years been incredibly harsh. I want to thank a lady called Julia Simpkin, who's a teacher in Bolton. She regularly, every year, calls and gets young Palestinian students to come over from West Bank and Gaza and other places to Bolton and Manchester, and they get taken around for about a week. But last time she tried to do this, a few years back, they declined the visa without giving any reason whatsoever. These are children. But no explanation given, just a complete high and mightiness of the Home Office. Yet when we see what happens in relation to Ukraine and other places, where we rightly intervene to help people, yet we don't seem to be able to offer the same degree of courtesy or the same degree of help to the Palestinian people. I ask, what is it about the Palestinians that's so different from Ukrainians? Because I can assure you the perils and the suffering they have is just as great, if not greater. Not that one should be comparing sufferings of any one group of victims to another group. So what I would say to the government, this won't cost them money. And as the honourable member who introduced this debate and other colleagues have said, the scheme already exists. It's literally copy and paste and apply it to the circumstances in Gaza and make the rules easy as well so that people can get out. And the final thing I would ask the government whilst they're looking at this issue, and we know the whole issue of Gaza is a much bigger issue, is when we had again Ukraine, many children who had been severely damaged, had amputation, we had about 150 of them accepted in British hospitals by the British government, who paid for them to have limb reconstruction surgeries and other, or treat them for chemotherapy, cancer patients. Yet, not a single Palestinian child has been accepted, not a single Palestinian child has been offered that service, despite the fact that the hospitals, like the Great Ormond Street hospitals, management is happy to take the children, but none has been taken. I really would ask the government to look into their conscience. Why? What's the difference between a Palestinian child and a Ukrainian child?